you, thank you. Aurora Martinez Jones is my name. I'll just really briefly let you know a little bit about me. I am a first-generation American. My dad is from Mexico and my mom is from Jamaica. Grew up in a little town outside of Houston called LaPorte. Went through the public school system there. I helped my parents a lot. Child of an immigrant, that's what we do. We help them navigate, translate systems and culture. And I really enjoyed that experience. I really wanted to help people. Didn't have any lawyers in my family, didn't know any lawyers, but I thought I should be a lawyer because I think I can help people doing that. So I graduated high school when I was 17 and I came straight to Austin. I thought I was going to go to Rice, but I visited UT campus and I fell in love. So at 17 I moved to Austin and got enrolled at UT under the top 10% rule. And I was paying for it myself. I had some scholarships, but it was on me, so I had to be very smart because I knew I had law school after that. So I went to Austin Community College during the summer. I saved all my basic courses for ACC, got that knocked out, did all my my major classes on the UT campus, transferred my basic classes in, and I graduated undergrad in 3 years. Wow. Kept trucking along, wanted to get to that next goal, but while I was there, what I did was I started a pre-law organization called Minority Women Pursuing Law, because I felt like I needed to help other young women of color navigate their way into the legal field. As I was making friends, I realized they didn't know lawyers either. They didn't know what it was going to be like. So that organization actually still exists. I'm so thrilled about it. They're going to be blocking for me in 2 weeks. So I stayed their mentor. I support them and I do internships for them at the courthouse. But I went straight into law school. I went to UT Law and was very excited about that opportunity. I was trying to figure out my way still and how I was going to help people. So while I was at UT Law, I was getting interviewed by partners at big firms. And as I was getting interviewed, I realized it was a lot of men and not very many people of color who were interviewing me. And I thought, well, geez, my partner track might not look so swell if I keep going that direction. And I really want to have control over making sure I really help people, the people that I want to help, and be able to do that. And so I started thinking about other options and said, what if I started my own law firm? So I wrote a business plan because I didn't want to jump 2 feet in, and I talked to one of our district judges, Laura Livingston, who was a mentor of mine, and she was like, don't do it, you're going to starve. And I was like, oh no, the judge says I'm going to starve, maybe I shouldn't do it. But I said, I really want to be thoughtful, I want to do it with intent. And so for 2 years, I carried around a business plan at the law school. I started surrounding myself with mentors, lawyers. I was freelancing as a law clerk so I could learn how to do it. I was doing legal research for professors, and I passed the bar exam the first time, and I started that business. So at 24 years old, I was a business owner, a young woman of color, and a lawyer. I was thrilled. And that's how I met Connie Jo. We worked together. I did court appointments for families involved with the child welfare system. So I represented children while I was in law school so I could get some experience in the courtroom. We have a children's rights clinic, was their voice in the courtroom when they're involved in foster care. And then I also represented parents once I became a lawyer. And I worked with parents in our family drug court with Connie, who mentored me through a lot of that. And I loved it. So I did general civil areas because I had to pay the bills and not go hungry. So I did personal injury, real estate, contracts, disputes, all kinds of civil cases that come through our courthouse regularly. But I also always did child protective services cases because that was my passion. And so what's been going on in Travis County? People have been moving here. Our population has been exploding and our court system isn't keeping up. Our judges and the Commissioner's Court have tried very hard to keep up with it as best they can, but it's always budget. What they were able to figure out in 2014 was an associate judge position to budget for that to help take care of the CPS cases because it was overwhelming. That's the job that I have now. So the judges had seen me in court in action. I had been in front of every single district judge trying cases. They knew I had a passion for child welfare law. They invited me to apply for that position. And I was appointed, I think, because of my experience and my passion for child welfare law. I think over 100 attorneys applied for it, and I was selected. So January 2nd, 2015, I was sworn in as an associate judge. That means the district judges assign me cases and I help them. They've assigned me the child protective services cases. And so for the last 3 years, I've been working in that field. And we have a political climate that is a little tough for Travis County. We have this last legislative session that tried to fix a broken child welfare system because we've been under a federal lawsuit that says the state has violated the constitutional rights of children in permanent foster care. That's what they found. That's the current lawsuit that we have. Over the last legislative session, in response, what the state decided to do was to privatize the child welfare system. So that's happening. They haven't started privatization in Travis County yet, but also because of our population growth and the overwhelming cases and the family law cases also that are coming through, our district judges visited with the Commissioner's Court, and they agreed that they were going to ask for another district court. They said we need more help, and we want it to be a family district court. That's what the ask was. And so when the bill passed, the legislature gave us one district court, which is the 459th that I'm running for now, but they said they were not going to designate it family law. It was going to be general civil litigation. I don't know what happened in the translation, but that's how it is. So the judges met again and said, well, then let's keep it that way until after the election, and then we'll figure things out. But that's how the ask came, was we have this need. And so the situation at the courthouse is that Darlene Byrne is the district judge for the 126th, and she's been in charge of the CPS cases for 13 years. Her background was in civil litigation, general civil litigation. She learned a lot of this, and she is a good judge.
She's a great judge.
She is very, very great, and she's trained me up. She's trained me up. I've worked under her, and I work for her right now, making sure that we're taking care of the children and families in Travis County. But she's also tired. 13 years of this very hard work. It's traumatic work. But I know she's looking forward to a time when she can go back to the civil docket and hear those kind of cases that she used to try. And I told her I would run. I said, I will run because I'm ready. I'm ready to take on that big responsibility and take on that big role. I have the experience. If I need to hear general civil litigation, that's what I used to do. But I have a passion for this stuff. And so I would love to be a district judge so that y'all can pass the reins on to me. I've been trained up in it. I've been supporting you guys. I have judicial experience, and that's a big reason why I'm running. To tell you a little bit about the field for the Democratic primary, there are two other family law lawyers who are running, and they are, one is Greg Hitt and one is Maya Gamble. Greg Hitt is been practicing, I think, for 20 some odd years, as has Maya, and they are both primarily family law lawyers. They are both private practice attorneys, and Ms. Gamble actually appears in my court as well. She does child protective services cases. I think they're both fine lawyers. I think that I don't have anything bad to say about them. But I just think the difference is this is a very, very unique population. This is where the need is for the district courts, and we cannot just have any lawyer jump in and take over, especially in the middle of this crisis that we have with privatization coming down. None of the other civil district judges have a background in child welfare law. I have a national certification. I'm a child welfare law specialist, and so they need somebody with that kind of specialized background. Fundraising progress. So at this point, you know, fundraising in a judicial race is always unusual, I guess. As a sitting judge, my ethics does not allow me to ask for anything from anybody, especially not money, except when I'm campaigning. So that's a little something that I had to get over and something I had to get used to. But we've been fundraising for a little while. We're just shy of about $50,000 that we've raised. I personally hope to raise just what's needed in a judicial campaign. And right now, for me, my goal is another $20,000 because I want to make sure I'm reaching all of the voters, and that's through mail-outs. I have volunteers, and I have a staff that's working diligently on knocking on doors, and that's what we're spending the rest of our weekends doing. So I feel like we've got that covered. But what I need to get covered is the amount for the mail-outs. And so I have agreed to abide by the Judicial Campaign Fairness Act, which means that I'm only going to spend a certain amount and only going to take a certain amount. And for individual contributions, the maximum for my race would be $5,000. I haven't had any one particular person give me that much, so if you're inclined, wonderful. But I've really been running on contributions of $50, $100, and having a lot of people who support me make those smaller contributions. I'm very much involved with nonprofit organizations, with social workers, and so there's only so much that they can do reasonably, and I'm appreciative for every dollar that I get. And so that's kind of where we're at with our campaigning. So endorsements, I've had a few endorsements. I got the Central Labor Council endorsement, which I think is wonderful. I am a member of my labor union, and I've gotten a lot of support, and they're going to really help me out with the block walking as well. And that's where I feel pretty comfortable and confident in the field work that we're going to be doing. I also have endorsements from a couple of other organizations, Our Revolution, Stonewall Democrats, the Austin Veteran Democrats. Also, I've gotten a national endorsement, which was really, really cool. Run for Something. They were featured in Time magazine, and I was selected. I was so excited that I was selected. They really promote first-time candidates and young candidates, and I think in my race, that has been something my opponents try to point out is my youthfulness. And as much as I appreciate that, I always want to make sure that I let people know I feel like I'm the most qualified despite my youthfulness. I just got an early start and knew what I wanted and kept my head on straight and moved forward as fast as I could. But I already have 3 years of judicial experience, which my opponents can't really say. And so I hope people are able to understand that and look at that situation. So getting out the vote realities and the opportunities in my district race. So the number always confuses people. 459th District Court, it's all of Travis County. They assign the numbers just according to the entire state. So it was the 459th District Court created in all of Texas. So it's Travis County specific. So
Aurora, I have a question for you. Do you know where you'll be on the ballot?
Order?
Uh-huh.
Top. I'm the first one on my ballot.
No, I was thinking about
all the way down?
all the way down.
I believe the judges kind of get towards the bottom.
Uh-huh, and it just there seem to be a lot of judges, so that's one thing that we will have to do is endure.
And a lot of the judges are unopposed, but we have a handful of contested races, and especially with this being a brand new court, this one has us 3 in it. And I will say, though, there is no opponent in the general election. There is no Republican candidate. Oh. So this race is decided March 6th. Yeah, so it'll be very important. Your vote in the primary is the vote.
So thank you so much, Aurora.